Hello, Mr. Malik. It's nice to see you.
Thank
So
you.
we would like to conduct a little interview with you. So actually, first of all, we would like to start with Khashoggi case. So please share your comments on this issue. What do you think about the subsequences of this issue? How it will affect the geopolitics of the world?
First of all, the incident of the Jamal Khashoggi is one of the most brutal incident to kill a journalist, to silence the voice of a journalist who was speaking something about the authoritarian regime of Saudis. But I am more concerned about the outcome and the future of this in the aftermath of this incident, because Saudi Arabia has realized, their foreign minister has realized, that it is one of the biggest mistake which they have made. So now a lot of the Davos in desert which they have planned, a lot of investment is pulling out from that project. It's mean that Saudi Arabia is in troubled water after the episode of the Jamal Khashoggi, and they have to pay a lot for this kind of the intervention inside Turkey, and to kill one of the journalists who was speaking very highly about the Saudi Arabia different issues. So another thing, that international sanctions is one of the major concern for the Saudi Arabia, because the model for King Salman and his son Mohammed bin Salman to moderate Saudi Arabia, I think they have a major setback after this incident of the Jamal Khashoggi. And the experts say that this incident could change the whole paradigm shift into the Middle East, and it's going to be change something like the major things into the Saudi Arabia politics. So let's see how it's gonna be work.
So actually, first of all, I would like to stress that the CNN reported about like the alleged recognition of Saudi Arabia about the being culpable in assassinating of Jamal Khashoggi. After 2-3 days, Saudi Arabia officially recognized it. So how do you think how it will affect on the future politics of United States? So actually, they are not going to impose any sanctions, and they will not pull out from the deal on arms supplies to Saudi Arabia.
But there is a huge pressure on Donald Trump from the media and from the Congress that you should have to put the sanction on the United States. And this pressure is continuously mounting on Donald Trump. So it's mean that Saudi Arabia is a big buyer of the weapons from the United States. But despite this, I think that from the West side, because it is something like the challenging of the Western voice, the Jamal Khashoggi was basically speaking for the Western people, for the Western media, and he was doing something like to expose the Saudi Arabia kingdom and all these things in the connection of the West. So it's mean that sanctions could come on Saudi Arabia, because Germany is doing and the other European countries are doing. So I think that this episode is very difficult for Saudi Arabia to come out.
So we will skip on another issue, like the most read issue of the world news. INF Treaty, Intermediate Range Treaty between Soviet Union, former Soviet Union, and United States. As you know, 2 days ago, the United States has pulled out from this treaty with Russia, like accusing Russia in breaching the negotiations, like the pact with the United States. How do you think? Please comment on.
Actually, since Donald Trump is in office, so United States has a history of pulling out from the various things, from the Paris climate change, from many
Yes,
international
Iran
agreements.
also,
Yeah, from many international agreements. So United States Security Department has concerned about this, and they are saying that China and Russia is a major threat to the United States security. Even Jim Mattis, the defense secretary, he mentioned several times about this, that Russia and China is going to be an emerging threat for the national security of the United States. So this, I think this is the next step of the United States national security policy, in which they are coming out from this international deal of the missiles, whatever they made with the Russia. But I think it's going to be some sort of these gestures and these behaviors are dangerous for the international peace, because when the United States is going to be pulled out from the every kind of the deal, they are going to be destroy every international law. Then I think for the international peace and for the international security, such kind of the gestures are very dangerous. and it will lead towards any kind of the major confrontation in the future, or in the post future. Yeah.
Uh, and the third issue, like the most spoken issue in the world news, it's a Brexit. So actually, the Brexit is looming on because on March 29, Britain is going to exit from European Union. But there are some deadlocks in the government, especially in the Conservative Party. As you know, like 50% is backing Theresa May, and the rest 50% is against the exiting from European Union. How could you comment on this issue? What are your predictions on Brexit? And what's your predictions on Irish border backstop issue?
I think that the Theresa May policies for the United Kingdom is really disastrous. It's really disastrous because she is doing something like the most anti-UK policies she's doing. So when the Brexit happened, so then it's mean that you have to cut off from the Europe. You have to go with them. It's mean that it's a departed deal. You have to say goodbye, and there is no other option, and there is no other kind of the referendum to move back towards the referendum. So it's mean that until you are going towards the first referendum when decided the Brexit. So what is the need of the second referendum? It's mean that you want the desired result. You want the your vested interest, that you will get a pro. Something like the polls like that reject this Brexit. So it's mean that you are going to for these polls. So I think that the Brexit had decided by the Britain people. It's decided once, and there's no need for any kind of the second referendum. And if they are doing like so to get the desired result, then they have a series of referendum until they can do the referendums when they will not get the result of their desired choice.
And actually another issue, so maybe you are aware that there are some WikiLeaks which are reporting about the Conservative Party deadlock, like a dissent within the Conservative Party, and they say that it is needed 48 votes to oust out Theresa May from the party and bringing the Boris Johnson or another candidate.
Yeah, that is also UK politics is too expected. So anything can happen in the UK politics. And Theresa May is, I think, there was a lost after the Syrian chemical attack, and the United States and the Allied forces when they attacked on the Syria. So after that, the British Parliament, they have moved a resolution against the Theresa May that was not succeeded at that time. So she's always into the very sensitive position to take any kind of the his 2/3 majority, because she's any kind of the change into the UK government or his policies, it could lead into a no confidence motion to her.
Mm-hmm. And the last topic, which is so important last days, about the Italy and the European Union. As you know, the Italy, they are not able to draft the budget because they have big debt, and actually it makes a challenges for European Union. How do you see the future of Italy in the European Union? Is it possible for Italy to withdraw from European Union, or it will remain inside it?
Actually, into the European Union group, there's a big disadvantage for some countries, and some countries are really paying too much, and they're getting less. So, like Italy, like many other European countries, so they are into immense trouble, and their future, I think, is in dark in European Union. Like UK, they have to go, and so for Italy also, I think that in the near future, if they have such kind of the debt, and it's going on and on, so I think it is they have no other option but to say some sort of the strong decisions,
Mm-hmm.
that how they can cooperate with the European Union in the future.
But here it's a bit different issue than what was with Greece, because the European Union and the European Central Bank, especially Germany, was donating money for Greece in the amount of $20 billion or euros. But here the debt of Italy estimates as 3 trillion, that it's much more bigger than it was with Greece. So it tackles a problem for Italy, and European Union is not going to take it on shoulders, the problem of Italy.
Exactly.
So it has to make some decisions within a year.
So let's see what happened. But I think that the Italy could be in such a huge debt. Their survival to run in the group of the European Union is seem very difficult.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all for today.